This is the Kitchen Sink WP podcast, episode 532.
I program my home computer.
We have a server crash, 404 error, page not found, links aren't working, system is crashing, system is crashing, system is crashing.
Your old HTML website, barely alive. We have the technology. We have WordFence. A new website, better than it was before. Better, stronger, faster.
Hello there, everybody. This is Adam Silver, the host of the Kitchen Sink WP podcast. Thanks for being here. Let's get started. All right, upcoming events. We have one next weekend, WordCamp Sylhet in Bangladesh, May 10th and 11th. And since it's kind of out of my neighborhood, I'm not going to be able to make it, and I will be out of town. So, yeah. All right, moving on to segment one in the news. A couple of things to talk about here. First and foremost, ring the bell, another acquisition. This time, again, actually, Automotive has acquired AccessAlly and PopupAlly. I believe those are the plugins. So congrats to those all those involved. Also in the news, two more things. One more, the second thing here is Shutterstock has entered an agreement to acquire Envato, which is interesting. So Envato makes a whole bunch of the themes and plugins, I think, as well. So that's a big deal. There's a press release. I'll put a link in the show notes on that. And lastly in the news, my friend James Giroux informed me and the world just last week that he has shut down TeamWP, has joined forces with Remkus de Vries, who I also know, another friend. They launched Future of Team. Now, what is the Future of Team? Well, per the website, they are a streaming HR for growth service, tailored recruitment, culture building, and leadership tools for WordPress businesses. I talked to James about it a little bit more depth. Really interesting what they're trying to do and what they're going to do. And I think they're going to be really successful at it because businesses that focus in the WordPress space and the ecosystem need their help. And both those people, James and Remkus, are very well qualified to help them out. So if you're interested in knowing more about it, check out futureofteam.com. All right, moving on, segment two. So in case you missed it, one of the hot topics in the WordPress space these days is data liberation. And just by happenstance, I've been asked about this about 2-3 times in the past couple of weeks by current clients as they've heard about it too. Now, keep in mind that those clients in question, they're in the nonprofit sector. Yet they had questions. I'm not sure how they saw it, where they saw it, but they did see these terms and they had questions about it and like why it's important. So with that, I did some digging and I came up with 5 crucial reasons of why DL is important. By the way, I'm going to call it DL, data liberation. It's too wordy in my opinion, but DL moving forward. And also in the 5 reasons, users can be defined as you yourself or maybe your clients. So keep that in mind as well. All right. So number one, in no specific order, flexibility and portability. DL allows content to be liberated from the confines of a single platform or CMS. Now, what does that exactly mean? Well, this means that users can easily migrate their content to a different system without the risk of data loss or format incompatibility. The flexibility here really empowers them to adapt to a changing technological landscape, switching providers for better services or integrate with other tools on a much easier way to go about it. Okay. We'll come back to that they're all tied together. So number 2, avoiding vendor lock-in. With DL, the user is not tied to a specific CMS or platform. This helps avoiding the vendor lock-in. We never want to be locked into something. It's kind of like having your cell phone locked into a certain vendor like AT&T, T-Mobile, Rogers Wireless, wherever you are in the world, right? It becomes dependent on that ecosystem. It makes it very difficult or expensive to switch to an alternative because who wants that? Once you liberate data, the user retains ownership and control, reduces the risk of being at the mercy of that vendor's decisions, pricing changes, or service disruptions. Okay. Number 3, data ownership and control. Now, data liberation, DL, ensures that users maintain ownership and control over their content. WordPress has always had this, which is great. Some companies don't, if you read the fine print, don't allow this. They say, well, we could use your content. We might repurpose something, photos, certain text, whatever it may be. Anyway, DL, this is essential for privacy, security, compliance. Users can decide how their data is stored, managed, and accessed, reducing concerns about the data, any misuse, unauthorized access, or data loss. So it also aligns with principles of data sovereignty, where the users have the right to determine the fate of their own information. It's kind of a lot there. Number 4, interoperability and integration. Now, liberated data can easily be integrated with systems and other systems, and services. A use case here would be that liberated content can be syndicated across multiple websites, shared with third-party services, repurposed for various purposes, which might then enhance its value and reach, right? And number 5, the final one here is future-proofing. As we all know, newer, better, faster, cheaper, it's a thing in technology. It's also a thing in the space we're in, the evolving landscape of platforms and tools. And especially lifetime deals, because sometimes a lifetime deal goes away. And so with DL, this future-proofs content by ensuring the accessibility and usability, regardless of changes in the CMS or any technological advance. Okay, so I realize there's a lot going on there, but do this if you will. Think of data liberation as a superhero cape for your content in the wild world of the internet and CMSs, content management systems. It's kind of like having a Swiss Army knife for your data. It gives you the flexibility to move around, dodge the dreaded vendor lock-in traps, wave your flag of data ownership high and proud. Plus, it's the ultimate matchmaker. It helps your content mingle and dance seamlessly, really, with other platforms and tools. So let's not forget the time traveling abilities. With DL, your content stays evergreen, ready to strut its stuff no matter how crazy, whatever happens in technology, the twists and turns the future may have. So again, I know it's a lot going on, but just take a moment and just kind of keep up with what's going on here. Again, kind of go over them. Number 1, flexibility and portability. Number 2, it avoids vendor lock-in. Number 3, data ownership and control. Number 4, interoperability and integration. And number 5, future-proofing. All really important, all overlapping in my opinion as well. Not one necessarily more important than the other, and that's what's key here. So kind of just pay attention what's coming down the pipe as far as data liberation. All right, moving on, segment 3, tip and tool of the week. This week's tip is a website, WordFence Bug Bounty Program. I got some feedback that people were amazed that people were making money finding bugs. So the link this week is the actual WordFence Bug Bounty Program. There's a link in the show notes. And I found 2 more recently. Somebody got $197 for an award for finding an unauthenticated arbitrary post deletion vulnerability patched in Lead Connector WordPress plugin. And someone else got this, get this, $2,063 for a vulnerability patched in user registration WordPress plugin. So $2,000 US. That's awesome. Anyway, link in the show notes, WordFence Bug Bounty Program. All right, that's it for this week. If you have any questions, go ahead, send it in via email, adam@kitchensinkwp.com, or use that SpeakPipe function on the website. If you want to support the show, you can do that by becoming a Patreon or buy me a coffee. If you want to sponsor the show, you can do that. There's a form on the website. Fill it out. I'll get right back to you. Thanks for listening. See you next week. Now go out and do some awesome things with WordPress. All right, bye-bye.